Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Coffee Social, random audio podcast. Recording this at 12, just about 1 p.m., call it 1 p.m. on Sunday, May 4th. So that's 2025-05-04, number 1. Today I'm going to talk about Amazon Vine in an episode I will likely call Vinetastic. What is Amazon Vine? Before we get into that, I'll remind you that, first of all, this is a randomly not scheduled audio program that appears on ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/Dan Hugo. If you found it, you probably know that. But I also have a profile on the other coffee site, buymeacoffee.com/Dan Hugo, and I do publish on Mondays the Buy Me an Update microcast, 5 minutes or less, about the week's previous audio programming and any news and announcements upcoming. So yeah, Vinetastic. What could this be? Well, if you're not familiar with the Amazon Vine program, if you've ever seen a review by someone that says Amazon Vine purchaser or something, Amazon Vine reviewer. So Amazon Vine is a program I was invited to after I reviewed some number of products. And I will say I was from the Yelp early days of Yelp generation. We actually started to create a startup called Valid Rate, which nobody liked the name. That's okay. It was a new take on reviews for things. It was micro reviews. So you'd write like a Twitter size review, get to the point and all that. So we were in this reviewing space. So I've always kind of been fascinated by capturing what people think of things. And certainly we can all go to the Amazon website and get an opinion, kind of an overview, a spectrum or a summary, and now that they have their AI summarizer, yeah, who knows what we're really getting. But the Amazon reviews have become, over the life of Amazon, I don't know about always, but they're somewhat useful. There was a lot of fake reviews for a long time, and there might still be, but I post real reviews. I post legitimate, real, honest opinion reviews. I actually use the products, and I say what I think. So I reviewed a product like a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, and I right away get an email. I'm invited to apply for the Amazon Vine program. What's this? Well, Amazon will send Amazon Vine members products that we select. So I was accepted. Okay. I guess I'm cool enough. So Amazon Vine members can select from a changing catalog of possibilities. They're usually products that either have no reviews or very few reviews. Maybe it's a new product. More likely it's a variation of a product that's already available. So I sign up, I get approved or accepted or whatever, and I can order up to 80 products or more. Once I have reviewed 90% of those 80 products, I am eligible to move from the silver tier, where products must be valued at under $100, to anything. I can order anything from whatever. I'm going to assume they expand the catalog since they know what group you're in. So I've been seeing the silver catalog. So I've got, I think, 82 or 84 items, either in transit or somewhere near me that I've started reviewing. I've reviewed, I think, 60. So I've reviewed almost 30, and I've got about 52 or 54 left to go once they get here, once I try them out and so on. So if you've ever seen, and I honestly don't remember what it says. Let me see if I can pull one up here. So if you've ever seen, it says something, you know what they say, verified purchaser or whatever. So on some of these, you're going to get a review. Oh, let me see if I can pull up mine. How about that? So you're going to see this thing on there. Okay. So orders, I can tell you the actual number. I've ordered a total number of 88 things, and three or four of them never got delivered, which is something I'm going to talk about today because it's really annoying to me. I have 57 items to review, and I've reviewed 28 items. So let me pick one here. And Amazon Vine customer review of free product. is what the review will be tagged as. I think I thought there was like a little colorful thing, but this is not colorful. Real quick here. No. Okay, so it just says it in green in what I'm seeing. I thought it had like a gold background or something. Either way, so if you find a review by me, Dan Hugo, under the date of review, so it'll say like reviewed in the United States on date, and then beneath that, Amazon Vine customer review of free product, and then there's a little what's this link. You can tell you all about that. So, first of all, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I've ordered a ton of things where I've been like, I've always wanted or thought about or pondered or, hey, I could use that. So for example, I have a 2D barcode scanner, handheld scanner. Yes, I know our phones can do all this, but why not? Right? So I got a 2D barcode scanner, like one you would find in a library or an inventory clerk at a store or wherever, right? So it looks like a little gun. Doesn't look like a gun, but it's got the grip and the little light that comes out. And I said, oh, this one's only 2D. There's another barcode scanner that's 3D. So, I can scan QR codes. That'd be kind of interesting to have. So I got that. And then I got a desktop QR code scanner. So I have 3 scanners. I got 3 different water quality sensors that I can take measurements of TDS, total dissolved solids. I think one of them does pH. I think they'll show salinity. So pH, TDS, maybe salinity, maybe other stuff. I don't know. So I was like, I'll get 3. So I got 1, and then there was another one available. So, I'll get that one too. And then a third one. And I said, I'll just compare them to each other and see what I can get. So I figured, I'll do the Las Vegas tap water, which is notoriously hard because of the caliche and just the way of the water in the desert, I suppose. This was similar in Phoenix when I used to live there, very hard water. So I can measure tap water. I can measure distilled from the store, from like a Kroger gallon of distilled water. I can measure I can measure filtered, quote unquote, filtered drinking water. So yeah, I could compare all these and say, here's what I came up with. I have a few borosilicate measuring devices. So I basically search for coffee, and there's a whole bunch of coffee related stuff. I got some, what they called espresso glasses. They were not, they're horrible. They are horrible for espresso. So I gave my honest review, and including weighing the addition of distilled water to the glass to compare what they claim the volume is to what I actually find. Same with a couple of, I think I got 4 different borosilicate. They claim to be borosilicate. I haven't tested it. So I do things like I weigh and measure the marking. So the graduations are usually off by a little bit, unfortunately. So they're not for measuring, obviously. Beakers are not for measuring. They're essentially beakers with a handle on them. So if anybody remembers high school chemistry, you remember that beakers are beakers, and then you might have a graduated cylinder if you want to take a proper measurement of a liquid. So I basically review the thickness, the quality of the handle. I have one pair of little small, I think they're 60 milliliter, little measuring, not really measuring, cups that they just look like little beakers with handles on them. The handles are actually really good for being so small. They're the best handles on any of these, so I refer to that. I got one, and so they call them espresso cups or glasses, and essentially they're either going to be a pitcher style with one V-shaped pouring spout, or they have 2 on the sides, one on each side. Again, V-shaped spouts. So you either pour like a pitcher, or you can pour like left side, right side if you're going to be preparing an espresso drink and you want to pour over some ice or something. So these are interesting. So one I got that has the 2 spouts actually fits the AeroPress, and it's thick enough that I feel confident pressing the coffee into this little measuring device. So if I wanted to prepare a drink that used the AeroPress, I don't know if you've ever tried pouring liquid from a mug. So normally I do the AeroPress directly into a coffee mug, and that's fine, right? Single serve. Is that what it's called? Single serve? Single serve coffee? That's right? Yeah. So I press right into the mug. But if I wanted to do something else with it, then that works fine. But again, the markings are usually off. So I find that interesting. I've got some shirts. They're like moisture wicking shirts. I figured, I'll try this out in the desert. I got some fans, like handheld and shoulder, like a little fan thing that wraps around your shoulder. They're both actually pretty good. So I'm like, I'll update these reviews when I'm wandering around Vegas in the summer sun, which is fast approaching. So I'm not going to go through all 88 items or whatever, but I will tell you this. So because of the ordering, you can order up to, the silver level, you can order up to 3 items per day, which has led me to believe that the gold level, where you can order up to 8 items per day, would be unbridled insanity. Let me tell you why. So I used to fly a lot for Intel when I was working for Intel. So I'd be flying around. I was on over 100 airplanes per year. I mean, that seems like a lot. It's not really that. I mean, it's a lot. It's more than normal, but it's not totally insane. But 2 airplanes per year, 2 airplanes per week, average. So you're going to, like, if 4% of airplanes are late or whatever it is, you're going to see that. So every once in a while, I would have a weird experience. I would have an unruly passenger. We had a medical emergency on a flight arriving in China. That was a fun one. I've talked about that on one of my regularly scheduled audio programs. So you figure once you get that volume of service usage, you're going to start seeing the rough edges. Similarly, I mean, I've essentially been a subscribe and save customer for about 6 years now. So you get your one thing per month, and then I get the odd thing here and there from Amazon, but mostly my ordering from Amazon is drastically reduced because Amazon kind of so I get signed up with Vine, and now I've ordered 88 things, and they basically arrive, for the most part, with only maybe 3 or 4 exceptions. They arrive as individually packaged items. So one order number equals one product equals one shipping tracking number, which is usually, I think except for one that was shipped via UPS, they've all been shipped via Amazon Logistics. The number starts with a TBA, and that's been interesting. So you're going to get a full sampling of their of whoever's delivering your packages locally. So what does that mean? Mostly good. Of the 88 packages, 88 items, I should say, I'm going to say 2 items just never showed up, and they got marked as unable to deliver or returned. They never even made it out into out for delivery. Not exactly sure what happened there. Whatever. I didn't pay for them. I'll tell you the one thing you have to do, apparently, is you have to contact the Vine, contact us support people, and you say, hey, this item never got delivered, and it's been marked as, unable to, or you're never going to get it. And then they say a whole bunch of platitudes. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and we're sorry to hear about all this, the platitudes that the support people do now. It's all fake. And then they say, we'll be sure and remove this from your order list, so you're not responsible for reviewing it. And I will add that you get a 1099 at the end of the year with the dollar value of your orders. So let me pull that up here real quick and tell you, account my total estimated value so far for 2025, and it's only May 4th, is $1,839.71. Not bad. So at the end of the year, I get a 1099 MISC, I guess. So it's important to make sure the items that I never received are removed. Hopefully they do that. So I got to go through and make sure. It obviously, being Amazon, takes more than a point and click on their end, I guess. But you would think their logistics would be connected to this so that they would automatically know when an item is returned or not delivered or so on. But I don't know. So the two items early in my career as a Vine reviewer didn't get delivered. I pointed that out. Okay, great. One item was to be delivered by UPS. It was marked as delivered It was delivered like on the other side of Vegas, like nowhere near where I am. And it said, okay, your item was delivered. Okay. So I contacted UPS. I tried to contact them and say, hey, this was delivered in the wrong place, but they said, no, it's been delivered. I said, okay, well, I need to file a claim for a lost package. So then I contacted Amazon, Vine support, and I said, hey, this was delivered to the completely wrong address. They removed it from my list of things. And then a couple days later, UPS just magically delivered it. I don't know if they went and got it again or who knows what. So I contacted Vine and I said, oh, I ended up getting it. And they said, oh, once we remove it, we can't re-add it. It's a privacy issue, so you don't have to return it. Just keep it. I'm like, oh, okay. That's kind of annoying. So now I'm not so quick to contact Amazon support. So now, I said that already. So another scenario has popped up, I think about 5 times now. Someone, I think it's an individual carrier, like a gig delivery person, not the Amazon truck, not the Amazon official vehicles. What, freelancers? They come by. So the apartment complex where I live, they have a mail room. Amazon people are aware of how to access it. Most of the deliveries of these items has been successful to the mailroom. We have package lockers in the mailroom. They're not Amazon lockers, but they're similar. So all of that works most of the time, like 80% of the time. But a few times now, I think 3 times packages were left just in front of the building, like outside. That's silly, but at least I got a notification. Now, what ends up happening is somebody will send me a message, and it's a stack of packages for a variety of people. So presumably they're like texting people at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is not totally awful, but still. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to deliver a package and I can't get in the building. And you're like, so am I supposed to just randomly tell people the entry codes and whatnot? Amazon has all that information. So you're kind of in a somewhere between rock and hard place. And I'm sure somebody else would. So, my ethics aside, the problem though, again, is that Amazon has this information. So 3 times that has happened. So I would just go out there in the morning and find my package and take it. The other day, someone came to this apartment complex, and it's a 1 building, sort of super building. So multiple entrances, but they're all the same building. Got here about 6 in the morning. I can't get into the building and the leasing office is closed. I know, figure 6 a.m. I don't know what. So they go home, I guess. They show up again 6 p.m. So 12 hours later. Oh, the leasing office is closed. Okay, first of all, 9 to 5. That's pretty standard. I think bankers' hours are to be expected. But 2, you should have the delivery instructions. Now, I've updated my delivery instructions and so on. So you end up with homework. Please update the delivery instructions. Well, I've already done that. I even provided the gate code and the building entry code. I said, this should all be available for Amazon people already. And I confirmed that. With the leasing office. And then the code for the mailroom, I'm like, I'm not giving that away because that's, there are packages that are not on lockers and whatever. So that's up to them to know, which they're supposed to. So that package is in limbo somewhere. I have not contacted Amazon Vine support to tell them that I didn't get it, but that package, who knows if it will ever be delivered ever. And then the final one, it actually just got delivered a few moments ago. That one was, I get a phone. Oh, by the way, I tried chat support. I tried calling Amazon support or having them call me. They passed me around to a bunch of people and I just gave up on the chat. And then the phone call, I called, I was in the queue and then they hung up on me, whatever hung up on me. And the second time I got through to a person and they did the old, I can't hear you. Hello, hello. Like I was just using the voice activated or phone tree. So hello. So no joy there. So essentially today's package was another one. Oh, 6 in the morning. I can't get into your building. Yeah, go figure. So you kind of had this, like I said, you're getting the edges of customer experience. This package that just arrived today got a morning and an evening attempt. And then I got a morning attempt today, also 8 o'clock in the morning. And I only get a thing. We attempted to deliver your package again. But then if you look at the package tracking, no information that it's out for delivery or anything. So once Amazon tries one time, and if there's any sort of issue or failure or a problem of any kind, you're on your own. Who knows what's going to happen? So like I said, I've just taken to not updating the Amazon Vine support thing, and just we'll see what happens. If you have not paid for anything, the payment is my time and effort when I'm writing a review. And like I said, I do take the review seriously. So that is some time there. But I'm not going to go crazy for a $10 or $20 item that I didn't pay for. So if they can't figure out how to deliver it, it's like, well, okay, I'm not gonna contact support anymore. I'm not picking up my phone at 6 o'clock in the morning. And usually it's not from Amazon customer support or something like that. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So good times. I have found Amazon delivery by Amazon Logistics. That's the TBD numbers, as opposed to the 1Z for UPS, etc. So if you have an Amazon Logistics delivery, if you get the professional drivers or the people that are doing this at scale, like they do it for a living, for real, not as a side gig, those people are good. They're very friendly. They're helpful. They will, they're good to interact with if you run into them delivering packages. They're pleasant. The individuals, the ones that pull up in a car, they come out with one package and they're like, how do I get into the mailroom? Those are the ones I have to look out for because they don't really care. They're here to drop off a package, whatever. They'll leave it wherever. But previously I've had packages that they're marked as delivered and then they're not there. So I've gone through the trouble of contacting the mailroom, the company that manages the mailroom with the cameras and all that. Oh, we can see that the Amazon delivery person didn't drop it, didn't leave it. Maybe they went through the motion of delivering. Now what ends up happening, I think the lockers are full. Maybe they set it down and they forget. So to be honest, barring the Vine experiences, but in general, I have a 0% missing package, like stolen package result so far for a few years living here. So what ends up happening usually is they'll bring it back the next day, or they just don't deliver it, but they forget. And then I contact Amazon and I say, oh, this wasn't delivered. And they say, oh, okay, sorry. So it's not really stolen so much as they forget. They literally, I've talked to some drivers and they're like, if you're here and you got like 150 packages, sometimes one will slip through and you forget, or you set it back down into the other pile or whatever. So generally speaking, it's been fine. So the Amazon Vine experience has definitely exposed me to the rough edges. Now, my own rough edges, when I get a subscribe and save order, it'll usually be in 1, 2, maybe 3 boxes. They've moved more to the padded envelope scheme for things like coffee. And don't forget, I am powered by coffee. So coffee beans, sometimes they'll come in a single item in a single padded envelope or something. So eventually you have to break down all these boxes. So if you're getting 1 or 2 or 3 boxes a month, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta, I can use that box to collect some other junk and bring it down to the dumpster or whatever. So I'm like, okay, if there's a bigger box, I don't break it down right away. Sometimes I can use that. Great. Now I'm getting multiple packages per day sometimes. And I'm like, oh, I can't keep up with this because I had the same mindset. Like, oh yeah, I'll break these down. This is a problem. It really is. It becomes like, how do I get around these boxes so I can start breaking them down? So one of the items I got was, and I'm totally serious, I got 5 5-gallon buckets, the kind that you see at your local hardware store. Maybe if you're in food service, bulk shipping of certain items, they'll be in these buckets with a handle, a lid. So I'm like, oh, I'll get 5 of those. I wrote a review. They're reasonably good quality. They're not quite commercial grade, but they're certainly, high quality residential grade. They're a little bit thinner, not quite as rigid, but they're fine. I was like, yeah, these are good for free for the cost of time to review them. Now I have this tall box because it was 5 buckets stacked inside the box. I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. Now I can treat this as like a cardboard receptacle for other boxes, and I'll start breaking them down, throw them in there, and I can bring the whole thing down. So I'm speaking in the future tense. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got easily 20 boxes to break down. Small, medium, totally crazy. So it gets to be a little overwhelming. But, and again, I still have like 50 items to review. And some of them are like those water sensors. So I got to do a sort of cross-pollinated review. So I'm going to cross-validate results against them and so on. Some of them I got to kind of update. So I got the moisture wicking t-shirts, and I got the, bamboo undershirts. So I said, I'm going to give these a real try once it gets really hot here. And it's been in the 80s in Vegas, so we're not quite there yet. What else did I get? I got a yellow safety vest because, hey, guess what? If I walk to the gym at night, like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it's dark. And believe it or not, the number of hit and run pedestrian fatality collisions has been going up in Vegas. I'm like, that's not a bad deal. Free, green with the shiny tape, the silver sort of reflective stuff. I'm like, oh, I'll totally get one of those. So that came in the other day. So I'm gonna try that. And I figure my review will be, well, I didn't get hit by a car, so it must work. So the take home is that this has been an interesting experience, but it's a little overwhelming. So now when I first started, I was thinking, okay, so if I can get through 80 items, I'll get to the good stuff. Yesterday, I saw that there was like an ATX computer case for list price $65, I think it was. I was like, that would be interesting. I don't have any extra motherboards floating around, but why not? And then it was gone. Like people snapped it up. But so now that I'm over 80 items, I'm like, do I even want to ponder what it would be like to order 8 items in a day and have them start showing up more than twice the rate that they have been now, with twice as many problems probably. So, but anyway, so if you ever experience a review that was written by a Vine person, I've noticed that some of the people write these reviews and they just, I don't know if they feel they have to please someone, so they write a gushing review. I got a WDT tool. If you are a coffee nerd, you know that they have little pins sticking out the bottom. They look like they look like a virus, actually. It's got a little handle, pin sticking out bottom, and you put it in your coffee if you're making an espresso, especially. And you swirl it around a little bit and you break up little clumps. That's called the Weiss distribution technique. So you're breaking up little clumps of coffee, if there are any. So I didn't have one. I actually have a felting, what is it called? Felting needles for $6. Total works exactly the same. That was a suggestion I read in a forum somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah. So if I ever have coffee clumps, I take this felting needle thing. It's got 6 needles. They're not quite the hair-like gauge, but I swish around the coffee, everything's fine. So piece of cake, $6. Doesn't look as cool, but it works just fine. So I'm like, oh, let me get an actual WDT tool and see what happens. And I'm just not impressed. It's I think the list price was $25, and it looks nice. It looks snazzy. It's like machined aluminum or something. But unfortunately, the pins are very fine, and it's really easy to get the pins stuck on the little base that they provide. Like this seems like it's gonna not break, but these pins are gonna bend very easily. They should flex, but they shouldn't be bent. So if you hit the side of the base when you're returning the handle with the pins in it to the base, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. The bottom line is I think they spent more of their time on the aluminum look and not on the practicality. So I'm like, I gave it 3 stars. I said for value, they put the money in on the handle, not on the practical usability of the device. The pins are very fine, and if they bend, they give you 4 spares. So there are 8 pins in the handle, and there are 4 spares. So at some point you're like, okay, well, I don't have any more of these pins. I gotta find new ones. So to me, not practical. So 3 stars. Everyone else, I think the 3 or 4 or 5 other people that reviewed it, 5 stars. This thing's amazing. It works better than air. The 4 basic elements plus this, and it's nirvana. Like, how can you be so gushing? It's literally a hunk of aluminum with some metal pins sticking out of it. So I didn't find it to be that good of value. That's one of my big primary measurement gauges is this worth the money? I said, I looked around. You could get better devices at the same price point with more features. Like you could rotate the handle and the pin spread out, so you increase the diameter of the pins. That makes it a little bit easier to put it back in the base station because you make them all vertical. But if you have them spread out, so you turn the handle, they spread out a little bit. Now you can cover the whole. If you have like a 58 millimeter portafilter basket, you can swish around the. Anyway, it's so I think people writing those Vine reviews may, in some cases, be trying to stay in someone's good graces, but I believe that's actually not the way you're supposed to do it because I've been very honest with mine. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there. Really, I'm venting on the 10% ridiculous experiences with the delivery process, given the volume of deliveries I've found myself experiencing. But also a little backgrounder on the Vine thing. I didn't even know this Vine thing existed. I think I had 3 products where a company sent me products to review. So I would just disclose that right up front. Like, this product was sent to me for review, but I did not have to have them approve anything. So this is an honest review. I know Amazon was getting on that for a while, but I didn't have any problems with that either. So all good. So now I think I will go review some more products. Take it easy. Thank you for listening as always. Don't forget to check back now and then. These episodes of Coffee Solo will appear at random. And unfortunately, Kofi doesn't seem to have an RSS feed. So that's unfortunate, but that's all I know. Take care. Thanks for listening as always. Until next time.